can't spell. Okay, so we have KCoorey versus Nakezuma. They are quick on the ball. Jesus. Deckless. Where am I going? What am I doing? I don't even know anymore. So we have a Scorpion Civil War going on here. Nakezuma versus KCoorey. There's going to be a 100% Scorpion win rate here. Getting all kinds of pings. Let's see. What the hell is going on? Nakezuma. Where's KCoorey? Come on. Give me. Oh, God, I really this thing to. I don't know why Google Sheets is so slow. There we go. That is that one and Nakezuma. Okay. Close all that crap out. So, Nakezuma, Seeker of Void Dragon Splash on KB. I don't need these, I'm not talking to anyone. We've got 1 Ancient Master, 2 Let Goes, 2 Insert Yourself. So, kind of a utility splash. In Search of Self is the good is the unrestricted Rare Motives Fury. We do see an Emperor, we do see Kachikos. Kind of an interesting thing. Way of the Scorpion's not super useful right now, which is unfortunate. We do see Forged Edict as the RL card, and this deck is the Water Splash Regal Bearing Renowned Singer. Sorry, Water Line Splash. Duty as the RL card. Yeah, those Way of the Scorpions are super dead for both players, I believe. Yep, that's a thing. Okay. Okay, so that's don't need to deck list up anymore. What else we got? Sadako's clearly what you run in Kyuden Bayushi. Curse Catcher's a nice pick. There are some good provinces to blank. Secret Cache, Effective Deception. Honor's Reward, maybe a little less so. Shameful Display, Midnight Revels. All of those are really good to be able to cancel. And we are off. Everything looking okay? That is muted, so that's fine. Alright. Oh. Hang on. Getting pings all over the place. Sure, none of that matters. Okay, so KCoorey takes a massive step in decking himself. 2 seasons, Entertainer, Shadowstalker, which also gives him a Blackmail Artist, a Court Novice, which is kind of a card you don't see very much of anymore. Dairu, another Blackmail Artist. Nakezuma gets a Master Whisperer, which I think is going to go do a bunch of work here. Alright, so Both players bid 5. Nakezuma uses the storehouse and is going to take a walk at the Dairu Entertainer province. Hit Shameful. That's a rough hit. Nakezuma is on 2 censures, 3 forged edicts, and 3 forgeries, so events are going to have a hard time sticking here since there's a bunch of cancels that can be on or off at any given moment. There's a Shameful trigger. There's a Court Mask. There's a Spicy Regal Bearing, so coming ahead on hand advantage. Problem is, with Master Whisperer being dishonored, there's definitely going to be there's a for shame. That's fine. I would definitely be more than happy to walk forward here unopposed on a Master Whisperer swing back. Does lose an honor, no big deal. If he cares that much, he can go air. Although I will say Void is probably the better choice here. Voiding that Blackmail Artist does give Corey a more honor, but that does also make his forgeries harder to turn on. And as we saw in a previous game, forgeries being on can matter an awful lot. We do see the Void Conflict at Shameful. I expect we'll see a pass. Okay, calling in favors to take the Court Mask. That will let the Court Novice stand and be productive, but it's not likely to save the Blackmail Artist. Because I think that is still 100% the right thing to void here. Nope, goes for the Court Novice. Interesting. I don't know, but I would have done that. I assume here we're going to see an air conflict, and it's just going to be... Oh no, water. Why water? Water stands a Blackmail Artist, hits cash. I don't think he's got anything that can push a break. There's no Fantanas. Oh, another Court Mask maybe. I don't know why he went water. Keeper water doesn't get you anything. You're ready to Blackmail Artist, but who gives a shit? Ancient Master to tie up favor. Nakezuma wanted to make sure that those censures are turned off, because he will have he has access to far more cancels with edicts and forgeries. I guess you left. No, I think Corey should have gone for an air conflict there. You get first dibs at an air ring with Fate, but I don't think that matters all that much. There's a dispatch, which may keep some buys in check here. There's a Court Novice with 1 Fate. I expect we'll see the Blackmail Artist purchased with some Fate on it afterwards. The Dispatch, the Seasons, and the Storehouse all doing a reasonable job of keeping Stoke Insurrections less impactful. Corey passes, takes a Fate, so Stoke Insurrection is not going to be... I assume Nakezuma's on Stoke Insurrection. There's a Governor Spy. Yeah, there's 2 Stoke Insurrections. Make sure... Oh, I have many things here. What's going on? Oh, it's the League Watcher things. Okay. Um, so we're going to see air. Weight of Duty is kind of terrible to run into. Ancient Master is going to knock down the Blackmail Artist. Uh, Assassination kills the Shameless. Canceling that gets sketchy because the assassination turns on Corey's forgeries. Whisper is dishonored though, so it can stand and do things. I actually don't like going air here because if you win it, no matter what you do, you turn your forgeries off. I would have much rather seen a fire conflict. See a bonsai up to try and break. There's a spicy fiery madness. I missed that in the deck. He's got two of them. Nice. That stops the break. Uh, dishonors the blackmail artist for the fiery madness, so we're back up to breaking, and the blackmail artist can stand now. Except he's a bit of a potato. There's the Sadako. Are we going to see a counter calling in favors to steal the fiery madness? That would be ridiculous. We probably won't be seeing that. Stops the break, which is significant. He does take one because of the bonsai. His forgeries are still turned on, which is important. We see a straighten of the Master Whisperer off of KB. I think now you walk forward political water. Hits the Revels. That's not great. No defense pass. That makes sense. Problem is, I think the blackmail artist is at 0 political, even with the KB bonus. So not a lot is going to happen here, except for maybe a court games. See political fire, weight of duty. Court games are court mask. Court mask is more secure. Regal bearing to draw some cards. I expect we're going to see a locking of one bids very soon. There's court games up. Do we see a stunning core gameplay of court games down? Thank you, core, for engaging gameplay. Fucking court games and bonsai. We do see a forgery to cancel that, so it is going to stick. There's a win. Takes 2 honor. What do you do? Honor up the blackmail artist, maybe? Fire feels like a weird choice. Yep. Does honor the blackmail artist. I don't believe... Oh, we see a Tessin for a swing back. I think you go void? No, passes. Passes for favor. There's a lot of aggressive favor manipulation going on here. We see that answered with Corey's own Sadako. Apparently he really wants to be able to play the censures. So who knew that was a thing? Wanting to play cards you put in the deck. That dispatch to nowhere still sitting face up is going to probably murder the Sadako, which means we're going to be seeing one bids. Might actually murder for Master Whisperer. There's an Emperor. That's a sad time to lose the favor. Social Puppeteer's art is still broken. There's a Governor Spy with 2. That beautiful entertainer is probably going to get purchased. Sadako tries to get shot. Forged Edict, Censure, Forgery, Censure, another what the fuck? So Dispatch, Nakezuma plays a Forged Edict, KCoorey plays a Censure, Nakezuma plays a Forgery, KCoorey plays a Censure. And Sadako gets shot, Nakezuma passes. Kind of surprised at not buying the beautiful entertainer there. He does have the Governor's Spy, so Stoke Insurrection means he still gets Beautiful Entertainer. As a spite play, I definitely think KCoorey should buy it. Big old bid from KCoorey. Nakezuma bids 2. So KCoorey wanting cards more than honor. Kyuden Bayushi's turned off. Nakezuma pitches Way of the Scorpions, which are absolutely dead cards here. It's kind of interesting. I assume KCoorey is on Icon Swims, hence the 2 bid. Oh, Jesus. Let's see, we've seen 1 forgery, 2 censures. So I believe he is just down to, he's got 2 censures and 1 censure, 2 forgeries left. Nakezuma has has 2 edicts, and those are the only online cancels he has. I don't like that bid from KCoorey. It let up quite a bit of pressure. If Nakezuma can stick a, like, oh man, why didn't you buy the Beautiful Entertainer then? Like, runs into Revels, which bows the Whisperer, which makes sense. Governor Spy gets Swum. Alright, so I guess that's a reason to bid 5. And that is probably going to be it, right? That was a big old swing, quite a bit of fade investment. Governor Spy had what, 2 fade on him? Blackmail Artist. Yep, had 2 fade on him, so that was a big old investment that just learned how to swim. And that's why you always bring your floaties. Political Earth at Weight of Duty. I assume we're going to see some way to... Sadako gets honored, so that's a break. We see an In Search of Self to bow Sadako. Kind of spicy. That card is cost equal to face down provinces. So most of KCoorey's deck is kind of vulnerable to that until he starts going elsewhere. Nakezuma pitches a Stoke Insurrection. Master Whisperer stands. Do we have a Court Mask to get a stand? I know we have a Tessin. Okay. Tessin stands Sadako. Got a military conflict left. I don't think you... Nope, wants to go for it. Air makes the most sense. goes to wait to duty. There's a defense, and I think that's going to be at the end of that conflict. For shame to Bao Sadako, she gets dishonored. So make an opening. That is different. -X, where difference is bid dial, which is enough. There's a forgery to cancel that. Nakezuma wins it. Gains 2 instead of stealing 1. That'll keep them tied at the round end when Whisperer dies. There's a scavenger for extra goodness, I guess. Keeps going back to way to duty. Whatever provinces is Nakezuma running here? This might have been a real good courteous greeting, revels, and what the fuck am I doing? Cash receiving, courteous greeting. Yeah, I would have gone exploring with that and start nudging down the in-search itself. Honor totals revert back to where they were. I believe Corey is on backhand compliments. No, he's not. That was the sorry. I've seen a bunch of Scorpion games today. No backhandeds in this. Both players basically wipe everything. KCoorey flips the season. I know the season was already there. We see Whisper, Kachiko, and Storehouse. And Manipulator, Kachiko. Whisper, Kachiko, and Alibi Artist. Beautiful Entertainer gets bought to stay alive. Kachiko gets bought with a bunch of fate. Corey passes. Alibi Artist is digging. That Kachiko being up is not super great for Nakezuma. Court games is always a good hit. Calling in favors is less so here, but the Forest Edict is a big one, as is the For Shame. So there's 3 good targets for Kachiko in there. That does mean you can't really go exploring for revels or exploring provinces anymore. Ooh, I got the little spinning mouse wheel. Is everything okay? So there's 9 political at weight of duty. You kind of have to stand in front of this. Fire, I think, will actually be used to dishonor Sadako. And you can sack the Beautiful Entertainer here to hit the Blackmail Artist and gain 2 honor, but then you lose 1 from the unopposed. But you do get him off away to duty, which is kind of an important thing. We do see Kachiko play the court games from the bin. Nakezuma passes. I mean, you might as well keep going, right? It costs you nothing to play that For Shame. Because it's unlikely you're going to stand Kachiko here. And I actually think I would have liked seeing the court games played on the Entertainer rather than Kachiko. just to keep nudging that dishonor forward a little bit. We do see the ally artists get pitched. We get pitched, get dishonored. Reynolds clearly the safest place. I feel like going void is not the right call. I think air was actually the better thing to do. Because you want to take that off the table in the event that there's a Tessin or any other kind of stand. There's a Tessin, so now air is going to happen. If KCoorey has an assassination in hand, that is likely to be game. Because that will shut off. I don't like going to cash. I guess it doesn't super matter where you go. He doesn't have favor. The assassination will trip you down to equal, so the forgery gets turned off immediately. Sadako comes down. That'll stop the unopposed. That might be enough. Well, there was the assassination. So Sadako eats it. Do we have... I don't think there's any other kind of targeted dishonor, so Nakezuma will be able to trigger the entertainer. Let's take a look. Court game censure. Yeah, there's nothing really there. Court mask gets played and let go for a break. There's one in the air ring. Tessin comes down on the entertainer, so you gotta go for Earth, right? Water doesn't get you anything, Earth gets you a card. And, oh, there's a calling in favors for the Tessin, so that's gonna stand Sadako. It isn't, that's true, but it's not impossible. And KCoorey has basically been denying Nakezuma ring effects the entire game. And so there's a fade off Keeper of Water. That's a minor misplay at this point. You should have gone Earth to not give him the fate. Entertainer brings him back up to 3. We have seen only one of them, so Nakezuma can still just keep digging for entertainers to stay alive. Yeah, but the problem is if that entertainer had been dishonored somehow, he would have lost the game because the honor loss from the token happens before vote. Maybe? I don't know how the sequence works. Doesn't matter because it didn't happen. If I were Nakezuma, I would not be super comfortable given the board states here. Any political conflicts are going to be kind of awkward because you're giving KCoorey access to a forged edict and a foreshame. Shameful is actually now the safest place to go with the Curse Catcher. Both players are going to lean on their alibi artists. decides to go military Earth at Shameful because Kurtzcaster is going to shut it off. Sadako is going to defend. I expect we'll see Kachiko and Sadako nullify each other's tokens. Which is still enough to win. Plays it for shame. Yeah, that's the sequence you have to do it, right? So now KCoorey has to stand Sadako, or else lose the conflict. Unless we see like a super spicy assassination, but that just feels like it's a little too risky. Alright, Gossip eats it. KCoorey goes down to 1. There's the edict to cancel it. There's a forgery to cancel that. Shameless Gossip dies. So on the political conflict, Nakezuma's not going to be able to push anything through because now there's 2 forged edicts and 2 forgeries in the bin. So KCoorey gets to be king of this political conflict. Goes Eric Cash because no events Nakezuma draws are ever going to matter. It's a good thing neither of these people are on backhanded compliments. So there's a defense not to lose the game, but I think that's all we're going to see happen here. It legit doesn't matter what Nakezuma drew for this conflict, it's never going to get played. Curse Catcher dishonors itself to do the Fire Ring. Huh. Okay, so one of them will stand back up. There's a pass because that's fine. That's a break. So we're going to see a return to either Revels or Shameful. Alibi Artist stands up. Sadako stands up and she's bigger, but she's going to be saved for the swing back. Goes to Shameful. Air. How many? We've seen 2 Tessons out of KCoorey, and he's got 3. So if he has the 3rd Tesson, he all-in defends and then wins. Forgery counts because it is soon to become irrelevant. Is 2 for Nakezuma, 1 for KCoorey. I don't know how you get, unless you have another for shame, but you don't have it, so you don't get over that. Do we see Vitessin for the win? We see a Slovenly Scavenger for the win. I don't know why you faked that, though. You go Void here. I don't think there's anything truly hurtful. You find Shameful. That's okay. There's a Way of the Scorpion, so that's why I threw 1 Fate on there. That was definitely a good little bit of forethought. There's a Sadako to stop the unopposed. Unfortunately, Sadako needs to win the conflict, because otherwise the curse catcher is going to get dishonored. Although, oh no, it said shameful. Man, I guess you play the way of the Scorpion anyway, because it's been a dead card and it gets it out of your hand, so you don't have to look at it and feel sad. Nakezuma ekes it out, so forgeries are now dead forever. Problem is, both players are at 1 honor, so the beautiful entertainers are now just really shitty bodies. And we are going to see a giant political push under protection of all of Nakezuma's edicts. And that is not the flip you necessarily want to see as Nakezuma. The Geisha house could have been a save, but with 2 Geisha houses on KCoorey's side, they'll just counter your counter. Nakezuma plays a Mono no Aware. I think you let that go through, right? Okay, KCoorey's digging for alibi artists. All of this happening with Dynasty phase. No one's bothered to buy anything or do any dupes. Okay, there we go. Dynasty phase things are finally happening. Kachiko gets duped. Alibi artist gets purchased with 1. Storehouse gets popped. And now KCoorey walks forward on air. And with 12 cards to 7, and all 6, 15, 18, 20 political, Nakezuma is going to die to an air ring. This is rough. Yep, you click on every blue number you can. 21. You can probably march it shameful and be fine. Because I think, what is it? Rebels is the other choice for Nakezuma? Or Courteous Greeting. Yeah, shameful costs you the fewest stats. Courteous Greeting actually, it's kind of perverse. Courteous Greeting, the Curse Catcher bows and takes Kachiko down with her, so you lose 9. Here you only lose 4. So we see that happen. Doesn't super matter. KCoorey just passes until he's not winning this conflict. And there's very little Nakezuma can do. Fiery Madness on Kachiko, that's fine. That's the awkward thing too, is that KCoorey doesn't even necessarily have to win this. He can just walk forward on the scavenger. It's better if he does win it. Don't get me wrong. But Nakezuma has to be like out of options here. Happened to come up with 9 political. Okay, Sadako gets bowed. KCoorey just continues to pass. Because there is... Sadako gets dishonored to move the ring to void. I expect we'll see the alibi artist get dishonored to move it back to air. And calling in favors to take a Tessend. except now there are multiple Horse Shames in the discard pile. But even that doesn't matter. Corey's still winning. Nakezuma can't trigger Kyuden Bayushi early because then Sadako just dies, and there's a concession. Yeah, there was no way out of that. Kachiko like hard carried that conflict between Forged Edicts and the Forshames. Nothing that KCoorey didn't want to happen was ever going to happen. Okay, so that is, yeah, losing to Dishonor is rough after the person that dishonored you played 3 assassinations. While playing 0. Was Nakezuma not on any assassinations? No, he had 2. He just didn't play any. Okay. While playing 0. Helps if I read and interpret words correctly. Okay, so that is the top 4 of that bracket. That was the Scorpion Clan Civil War. Scorpion Clan came out on top. The sad part is Scorpion Clan also lost. So yeah, that is where we are at. Let me pull up the brackets real quick. I've already since forgotten what is on the docket because I'm a little brain fried. What the hell did we just see? Okay, so it looks like, yep, that was the top 4 bracket for the winners bracket. KCoorey marches on to the semifinals to go against either Crab or Crane. And then we have the bottom bracket. Looks like nothing's been reported yet. By all means, go find the other streamers, watch their games. This has been like really good gameplay, and I think it's an excellent learning opportunity for anyone that wants to get better at the game. Yeah, cool. I think there's one more round today. Don't quote me on that. I think there's one more for the bottom bracket, just to get to a semifinals for both of them. So tomorrow will be 2 to 3 games, I think. I think that's the plan. Maybe. But yeah, I will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you for hanging with us on all this. It's been a blast, and there's some more good games.